Ryan, this Saturday, I was grabbing a little bit of a late lunch from the union, a little 2 p.m. lunch in the afternoon. And on my way out, this is probably one of the highlights of the week. We're just getting it out front right away in the episode. I'm coming out of the building and I see my friend Zach walking up to the union, and all of a sudden it becomes a little clear what's going to happen here because we both end up entering a revolving door at the same time, and that makes it difficult to interact a little bit, and that you're seeing each other, you're about as close as you can get, and yet you can't really have any sort of conversation
Sure.
or anything.
So
And
close yet so far.
yeah. So we're both laughing. I mean, it probably looked a little bit deranged, just two people laughing as they're going
Yeah.
through a revolving door. But it was a great moment, I would say. Just a little moment that kind of added a little.
Did you go around a couple times
No,
while you were laughing?
no. I exited. He also exited, and we kind of stood there and like, do we?
Sure.
And then just give him a wave, and we went about our days there. We did text about it afterwards. So
I thought you might kind of decide, I'll meet you on that side.
Yeah.
And then you both just keep going.
Little merry-go-round
You're not really
action.
sure
You're like, no,
who's getting out where.
Say, no,
Yeah.
get out. I'll come to you. We did not do that. We were more in sync than that. But it was a good time. Speaking of little moments that have sparked joy, I was going through my notes today. I can't remember why I was doing that, but going through the Google Keep, got a lot of little notes, a lot of like text messages that I've drafted out. That's kind of my preferred route there.
Mhm.
Draft them out in the Keep. So I'm going through. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that conversation actually. But anyway, I came across this note, and it's called Dinner 3/9, Dinner March 9th. And this one kind of stands out in the notes app
That
because
wasn't too long ago.
well, it actually was March 9th of 2020.
Oh,
So it was
never mind.
it was quite a bit ago. But yeah, it stands out because it's got like a picture on it. And so I'm like, oh, what is this? And the picture is of a Google search. And I typed out how did, and the top result is how did Juice WRLD die? Seizure. But all of the results are like, how did this person die? How did this person die? I only typed how did, and it auto-completed with all of those. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that.
How does this relate to dinner?
Well, that's because that was just one of a slew of events that happened during dinner on March 9th.
Oh my gosh.
That felt worthy enough to make a note about it at the time, because I'm like, what's going on? So first off, and this, I also remember this being a great moment when I experienced it.
Juice WRLD's death?
No. That was a different thing. So I was walking behind this guy, and this probably happens a handful of times per meal period where someone will drop silverware. It's a real epidemic at the dining hall. But this guy, he drops like a fork or something on the ground, and he's like, okay, I got to go pick that up or whatever. So he sets his plate down. He goes to get a napkin to pick it up. I don't know, maybe some food dropped along with that. I'm not sure exactly why he grabbed the napkin. But while he was going to get the napkin, a dining center employee came and picked up the fork. And so he turned back and was just, you could tell just by looking at him, he was just experiencing a crisis. Like, what just happened right now? Because the dining center employee, he's out of frame here. He's moved quickly, just like an assassin taking out the fork.
Yeah.
And, I just get to experience this from afar as
This man
starts
is wondering if it even happened at all.
Say,
like, he imagined the entire thing.
Why did I grab this napkin?
Yeah.
What? It's empty. So that kicked off the night. Then I just have children's show cutscene music from World's Fair, which I don't know the specifics of, but basically we've got like one of the food stations is the World's Fair. And from what I remember, they were just playing like basically children's music, like you might find on like Cocomelon or something like that. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, why are we playing this? I'm very confused. Then we got a couple quotes. If you make improvements to a home, it never depreciates in value. That stonks right there. And then this one is my favorite. I thank God every day that I got my tonsils and adenoids taken out when I was younger. That's a pretty.
Should I be doing that?
You should be thanking God every day for having your tonsils and adenoids taken out when you were young. I don't even know what an adenoid is.
Me
frankly.
neither.
It's got a nice.
It's making me think I don't have them out.
Yeah, you probably should be at this point. If you're older,
yeah,
you probably should be. It's kind of caused you a world of hurt. I don't know exactly, if that's justified.
I don't think my tonsils have been removed either.
I don't think mine have either. I don't think I'm having any issues with them at this point. I think feel like that's. I don't know if that's just a thing that impacts children or. I guess not. I don't really know what they do either. They feel like an appendix to me. But I don't know. I guess it's worthy enough to be thanking God every day for not having them. And then I just have image from above with exclusively how did in the search bar, where it's just like I don't even know what I was looking up. Just how did something happen? And all of them were about death. And I'm like, are you trying to tell me something right now, Google? So I was a little concerned. So anyway, it's just little nugget of enjoyment coming out of searching through the notes, digging through, finding some gold there. But have you had any enjoyment in this past week, Ryan? Or
any nuggets of enjoyment?
Any nuggets? I did. Any wings, legs, drumsticks?
I had some chicken wings.
Okay.
Now that you bring it up, I wasn't going to bring that up originally, but
I thought we weren't going to talk about that. Okay,
they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But in terms of enjoyment from notes or interactions,
okay,
I got a text from my sister.
Okay,
who lives in Illinois.
Shout out.
Wasn't really expecting a text. We don't talk anymore, but
okay. Yeah.
She sent me.
Had a falling out.
It was just kind of cryptic because she just sent the text, "You win, Ryan."
Wow.
And I was excited.
This is kind of the opposite of you just lost the game.
I was what did I win? What do I get?
Right.
She sent a picture along with the text. So I opened that up. First thing I see is this little kind of rectangle with 2 lines on it. And I'm thinking, is this a pregnancy test or something? What is this?
You win at being an uncle.
Apparently. But no, it was actually a COVID test.
Okay.
And my sister got COVID. And she was texting me that I win because I'm the last person in my family that hasn't had it.
Wow.
As far as I know.
That's exciting.
So I didn't realize it was a competition, but I will take all the credit, and I'm glad, and I want to thank my family, and I want to thank my sisters for not being as careful as I have been.
Right. And I want to thank that black market dealer who gave my sister COVID.
Yeah. I really shout out to that guy.
He really clutched up for a pretty low, reasonable cost there.
Yeah. So I came out on top, and I just thought that was a really strange message, but appreciative.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone has announced that they have COVID to me using those methods, but I like it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of embracing it, I guess. Well, that's exciting. So that does, warrant getting a little bit of joy from that, I would say.
I do take joy in my family members coming down with
an illness,
pretty serious cold.
Right.
So, anyway, that was one thing.
Mm.
Other than that, had a pretty busy week. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but I was in Omaha playing some board games at Spielbound.
I did. I saw this on your Instagram story.
Yeah. Which we've mentioned on the podcast before.
Your Instagram story?
Spielbound.
Spielbound. Yes. Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah. I'm sure we've mentioned my Instagram story too. But
you said you had been there before?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we talked about it.
Yes.
In what context?
I had been and went back. It was just so enjoyable the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Played some more board games.
Any new ones that you had never seen before, had never played before?
No, actually, all three I had played before.
Okay.
There were a lot more people this time than last time.
Gotcha.
So there's that to factor in.
A little bit more action.
Yeah.
Sure.
We started off with Clue.
Okay.
Was playing against a self-proclaimed champion of Clue.
Okay.
In her words, had only ever lost the game twice in her lifetime.
That's exciting for her.
Is incredible. But she can make that 3 times.
Wow.
Because I won. So I'm not.
And how many times have you lost in your lifetime?
Well, I mean, I haven't been keeping track, but it's probably not that many.
Probably close to 0.
Yeah, I would say 0 or negative.
0 since you started counting.
Yeah,
that's for
right.
Sure.
We'll just start that now.
Yeah.
So I did win the one and only game of Clue that we played.
So I've never remembered losing at Clue.
That's right.
That's what I can say.
Yeah. We then moved on to a game called Munchkins.
I feel like I've heard of this, but I don't. Is this you pick up the monkeys or?
No, that's what actually is. That's like barrel of monkeys.
Okay. Okay. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's kind of in the name.
Yeah.
This one it's more like you someone else asked me to explain it. I didn't really know how. You have a character and then you get cards to like increase your character's level. And then in order to win the game, you have to fight like monsters that'll let you level up.
And are you the munchkins or are those the monsters?
You are the munchkin.
You're a little munchkin.
It's a little kind of derogatory
term
that
for the
way.
Players. Yeah.
But yes. And then you kind of help each other out and sabotage each other, try to win. That was pretty fun. I did not win that.
That's tough. So you can remember losing at Munchkins?
I can.
Okay.
I can. I can't remember winning ever.
Okay.
So
that's not looking great. But at least you have Clue Champion to your name.
Yes. And then finally we played a quick round of Exploding Kittens. Didn't actually finish because we left while there were still 3 people alive. So but I was one of those 3 people. So
that's exciting.
Add Survivor. I survived a game of Exploding Kittens.
Right.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And
my cats survived as well.
Yeah.
Put that on a cat t-shirt is really what you should be doing.
That was the experience. That was about 5.5 hours.
Wow. Okay.
And
is it a set rate?
Those take time. Board games take time.
That's so true.
A set rate?
Yeah. Like
it is.
You don't pay per hour.
You
just
pay once.
Yeah.
I think it was just $6 to pay or to play. Pay to play.
They've really got a pay to play scheme set up, and we're going to need to crack down on them.
They've got the entire thing kind of locked behind a paywall.
It's it's in the most true sense pay to play, and I don't know where the FTC is or the FCC, whichever one of those is the right one.
Yeah.
They really should be looking into this.
They've got all of their physical content locked behind a paywall,
right? Which
is kind of a new experience.
Yeah,
but
a counter of sorts.
Yeah, I would say it was worth it. It's always hard because I want to play new games, but then I think I talked about this last time too.
Right,
you have to figure out how to play them.
You need the recommendation algorithm.
You need a recommendation. Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to just walk in there. I want them to scan my barcode and tell me exactly what to play.
Exactly.
Interesting story. While we were there, though, you got to go up and you got to buy your pass, your pay to play,
right? Per
se. And my friend Jake, he goes up there, and some of my other friends that were there, they kind of think that this barista is hitting on my friend Jake a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't really notice it, but I'm not the most observant person in the world. So we go back to our room and they say, all right, we need to find out if this was real or not. So Ryan, you're going to go up there and we're going to see if she does the same thing to you.
I see. So hold up real quick. There are rooms within the Spielbound that you go to.
Yeah, there are there's kind of general tables, and then there's also rooms that you can go into kind of in the back. So we're they were planning this whole escapade. I'm just like, why am I doing this?
Right.
And they said for science. So I'm sort of the control.
And how did that make you feel?
Not great,
Okay.
but you know, I did it for science.
Yeah. I've never been one to turn down science, you know.
So we send Jade back up there again.
Before you go up, before the control goes up.
Before me.
Okay.
And we figured it out. So the reason that they kind of thought that this might be a possibility is because she had commented on his sweatshirt.
Mhm.
It was like, I'm forgetting the name of the brand. I'll have to ask him, but it's like a very environmentally sourced piece of clothing.
Sure.
And so we were getting the vibe that she's sort of an environmentalist.
Sure.
And Jade is very pro kind of sustainability.
Shout out Green Party.
Environment. Yes, exactly. And I mean, I'm not the outdoors type myself.
Sure.
So that's
so
sort
like,
of the,
you go up there, you know, in some, I don't even know, Gap.
I would
Nike,
say that's the
whatever.
independent variable.
Right.
Here. So he goes up, he starts, you know, talking to her about hiking, his favorite place to hike, what her favorite place to hike is. She's talking to him.
So he just goes and hits on her.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, you know,
pretty much.
Strikes up
a good conversation.
Right.
And I think it's going really well for him. But then she says, we can talk about this later. There's a line forming behind you. So I'm thinking, that's not good. But then he writes down his number and gives it to her.
So it seems like he's really...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This is before you've even gone up.
Yeah, I'm right behind him at this point. I'm right behind him.
There's a line forming. It's just you.
Well, it was
I can't
me.
wait to talk to this guy.
It was me, and there were like 3 people behind me too.
Okay.
So I go up. I am actually ordering something. I think he was too, but
yeah,
I'm just talking to her. I'm making conversation. I don't have a favorite place to hike though.
Yeah.
I was kind of asking, but I didn't really initiate anything. Like I didn't ask her any questions, but she's asking me, you know, if I come here often, what my favorite have I been here before? What my favorite board game is? Those kind of seem like more typical questions, though.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, you know, that's it. Go back. We're not really sure.
Inconclusive.
Inconclusive.
I feel like
until.
Okay.
Hold on. There's another very important piece about, you know, probably 2 or 3 hours pass. Jake pulls out his phone and he's like, she texted me.
Okay.
While we were still there. I don't know if her shift ended and she left or something, or, you know, we were going to see her while we walked out or what.
You're
but,
right. Be kind of fun.
She texted him about, you know, his favorite place to hike, and, you know, maybe they should go hike sometime. I don't know.
So still pretty inconclusive.
Yeah, I would say we're not really sure.
Yeah.
What happened.
Could go either way.
But I'm still optimistic.
Yeah. Then she texted you about your favorite board game.
She did.
So it's like,
she really
maybe
did.
we should play sometime. Hard to say.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. I like that you really didn't need to be involved in this experiment. It seems like Jake just kind of took it and ran.
It really was that way.
Yeah.
I was kind of drafted into it without really, and, you know, voiced my opposition to the idea entirely multiple times. But,
right.
There's only so much you can do. So,
yeah.
But I just thought that was really, really entertaining sort of side quest from what we had actually intended to do.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little game within the games, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A fourth game that was played was Jake's game.
The game of love.
Yes, exactly. And hiking and whatnot. Well, that's exciting. That, you know, I have, you know, I haven't gotten to Spielbound, but hey, sounds like they've got good stuff going on.
I would say brush up on your outdoor activities before you head over there.
Invest in some Patagonia.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, buy some shares.
That's right.
Buy some jackets and whatnot. I was kind of expecting the experiment to be, you go up there wearing normal clothes, see what happens. Then you go back, but with some Patagonia or something, and see how that changes things. He was
telling me about this sweatshirt that he was wearing. It wasn't Patagonia. It was like, it started with an M or something.
It was a deep cut.
It was it
Marmo?
No, it was I think I don't want to get it wrong, but
yeah,
he was saying it went viral on TikTok as like like a extremely sustainably sourced like material or business. And like there's all these restrictions on like how much clothing you can buy from them and how often and
Oh,
things because like they're so sustainable that they can't mass produce all of their, clothing
I
basically.
see. Interesting.
So it was a deep cut is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right.
Like I didn't even know about it until you mentioned it.
Wow. Well, that's
But
incredible.
she knew about it. So I think that was a real connection.
That bodes well. That bodes
Yeah.
well. It's exciting.
I'll ask him for an update.
Ryan, I forgot to mention this last week, but back in Kansas City, I had kind of an encounter with a store employee of sorts. I would say this one was less flirty, more awkward kind of
Sure.
situation.
More, sir, you can't take that out of the store.
Yeah, sir, I would really like it if you if you would not ask me these kinds of questions. Yeah, so I got some new shoes actually.
Wow, you wearing them?
I am actually.
Oh my gosh,
A
you
little,
are.
I'm going dark mode on them.
Yeah,
So
I see that.
yeah, we've got the old Navy,
Says
little Brooks.
says adrenaline OT. It's either OTS or OT5 at the bottom.
Well, I couldn't even tell you.
O or is that a G? I don't know.
Hard to say. That's not really the important part. The
Yeah.
adrenaline is the important part. I'm feeling it, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. It infuses it through your feet.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's healthy. Anyway.
Right. Yeah. It's been a real stressor on the heart.
Mhm.
But anyway, so I got these shoes, and I go in. I try to shop local. Not really, but in this particular sense, I do. I'm kind of held hostage by my feet in a sense when it comes to buying shoes, just because I look. I'll say it. I'm a pronator. Okay, Ryan. I've kept this quiet for a long time. Been a closet pronator.
What does that mean?
Look, it's pretty bad. All right. It basically means that like my feet kind of lean in. Not great on the arch support. Okay. So sue me. But anyway,
I've never heard of this.
well, now you're hearing about it. All right. It's we're a quiet majority, I would say. But anyway, so this causes issues with my knees, with my ankles, whatever. It's a whole deal. All right. Back in high school, got a little Osgood Schlotters. All right. And it's a real affliction
Okay.
with the tendons in the knees. But anyway, I got these shoes and basically the problem went away. Get enough arch support and it's good. So now I'm afraid to go to any other shoes. So I'm basically locked into these old Brooks running company. I'm not a runner in particular. I go into the store. They're like, hey, what kind of shoes are you going? Or if you go online and I look for shoes on Brooks, they're like, where are you going to be running? On the trail or on the road? And it's like, none of these really. Yeah. I'll be walking if that's an option. But anyway, so I go into these local like shoe stores or whatever, the Running Well store. And, this particular time, there's this guy there. He's making convo. He's a bit of an older guy. He told us he was retired. And so I guess
was he working there?
Well, that's a great question. Maybe he wasn't. I don't really know. Maybe he was just there. But anyway, yeah. So he's asking me about myself a little bit. He's like, where are you in high school track or something? Like, no. I'm in college. I'm in college. Yeah, I'm about to graduate actually. But yeah, I go and then I say, I go up to University of Nebraska up in Lincoln, and he goes, I know where it is. And it's like, all right. Well, look, I wasn't trying to say that you didn't.
Yeah.
I was just trying to add a little bit of information to keep things flowing a little bit. But I guess if you're shooting this down, we don't have to be cordial.
Sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's just kind of, it's a little bit off, with this guy. But anyway, so I, keep going and, I try on the shoes and, hey, walk around with those, which that I feel like I never get a real feel. I guess you can, so with some shoes, you're like, this isn't going to work right away. But with others, I'm taking like 10 steps. This is not like a long-term kind of try-on situation. And so it's like, I don't know, they feel fine in about the 10 feet that I've walked here. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, they're good. I think we're good to go. And he's like, all right, yeah. He's like, we're kind of talking about the the color and whatnot, just chatting. And he goes, yeah, they don't really make these darker shoes as much anymore. Yeah, they found it's real bad for the environment. I'm like, oh, oh, okay, all right, all
Wow.
right. So, you ready to check them out?
Yeah.
So, I'll take 2. Actually,
Sure.
I'll take as many of these
Yeah,
as you
no
got.
kidding. You're trying
Yeah.
to offset Jake's
Right, exactly.
production.
I'm basically the opposite. I
Yeah.
go up to that barista or whatever. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to leave.
Get out
right
of my
now.
sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do?
Least
I see you with
sustainably
the dark
sourced.
shoes.
Yeah.
He was saying it has to do with the dyes. They have to dye them a lot, and that goes into the water or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah,
Load
give
me
me
up.
some of that water.
Yeah, exactly. So that wasn't great, but we got in, we got out.
Maybe that's why he was retired.
Maybe,
not
yeah.
really
He's like, I don't care about
Really
these
not
sales.
a great salesperson.
Yeah, exactly.
They kind of forced him into an early retirement, maybe.
Yeah, he's like,
And
I'm still
he just
showing
kept
up.
coming.
Yeah, this is what I love to do.
Uh-huh.
So, but anyway, he was nice enough. Yeah, it was a whole deal. But we got that box, and we're breaking them in. We're really doing our part. So that's good. The other activity from spring break that I kind of left behind there was got my real ID. I'd mentioned getting a fake ID before, but this one was a real.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a real fake ID because you get the printout. But anyway, great experience. I had mentioned that it's like I don't want to jinx myself, but I've had good luck with the DMV, and this was once again another good one. We had about probably 10 minutes in and out. Great. Part of that, which contributes, is that we were able to schedule an appointment. So
Yeah,
that
you
helps
did mention
quick.
that.
But anyway, when I walked up there, I was kind of stopped at the door because there's one door, and on the sign, it's got an arrow to the right that's like, I don't even know, deeds, like property deeds, or I don't know, titles and stuff like that. And then there's an arrow to the left that says like license and stuff. And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to wait outside to the right and left of the door? Because it's not like, do I just go in the door? I don't know. And basically those questions were answered because what they've got going on at this particular DMV is they've got a full-time kind of organizer, traffic manager, as they might say. That was a difficult one for me to get out.
Traffic manager.
So nice. They had to say it thrice.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this lady opens the door and she starts asking me, what do you got going on? Renewing the license.
What are you doing here?
Right. Can I help you?
Yeah.
You need to leave. That sort of video. I'm like, I've got an appointment. She's like, all right, sit here or whatever. And I'm like,
she's sort of
I couldn't tell if it was
moving
like
her arms, directing you. She's got one of
right,
those
yeah.
kind of
Come this way,
like,
please.
yeah.
Come this way. All right, and stop. Yeah, a nice little air traffic control, ground traffic control, you could say. But anyway, so I'm like, all right. I couldn't tell if she was pointing to a specific seat or just a general area, but I'm like, we'll see. But anyway, yeah, over the course of this short time that I'm in there, she's going all over the place. She's basically telling people where to sit in here. That's basically her job. She was also going back and helping the people. It seemed like she was a manager of sorts. But anyway, I got in right before a rush of people. And so, she's going in and she's like, so I'm going to need you to everyone shift down one and I'm going to need you to sit there. And we did have a line going outside.
Oh my gosh.
It was really a sight to behold. And
did they make appointments too?
No.
Okay.
Not a lot of people were making appointments. I was basically the only one. And so
did you get dirty looks when you kind of skipped the line or
well, a little bit, but from the person who is taking my information down. I was a little confused.
Yeah.
Because they called up, all right, next appointment or whatever. I'm like, that's me, because she hasn't pointed anyone in my direction anyway. And so I go up and they're kind of arguing a little bit. And the lady's like, I didn't know there was another appointment. I'm like, that's fine. I don't know. It was a little off.
You're kind of awkwardly standing there while they talk about you.
Right.
Like right in front of you.
She's like, yeah, he's the last one. I'm like, okay. So I guess there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a little strange. I was mostly just trying to get in, get out, trying to be nice and not step on her toes at all. So anyway, that kind of wraps up my, the events of my spring break there. Just good times with the customer service folks. So
I had a similar experience today.
really
Not really
at the DMV.
Not really the last part. Not at the DMV either.
Okay.
So not really that similar at all.
Okay.
Mostly just the beginning part where you're talking about the arrows leading you in. I had to go pick up some printed material from the UNL Copy Center.
Wow. Never been able to make use of that.
You've never headed over there just for fun or anything?
No, not on my typical weekends.
Okay.
But sometimes when it's a real treat.
It's kind of across North Antelope Valley Parkway.
Okay. This is not what I was even thinking about.
Yeah. So,
I was thinking the one in the Union.
No, it's not that one.
Okay.
Well, I went there first.
and that's not where you were supposed to go.
That was not where I was supposed to go.
Okay.
So that was not great.
So
ended up getting in the old car, booting it up.
Boot it up.
Yeah.
Nice.
And headed over just across the street.
Oh.
It's literally right across the street, kind of by Nebraska Hall, right across from North Antelope Valley Parkway. Do you know where?
Not across the street from the Union.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Do you know where the street is?
No, not at all. Antelope Valley Parkway? Yes,
yeah,
I know where that is.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's across that street.
Okay.
Anyway, so I head over there, and I'm about to park like in the front where all the doors are, but then I see this one sign that's like print distribution, copy, all this stuff, and it's an arrow that just keeps going to the left. So I'm like, all right, I think I gotta go that way.
Yeah,
I'm here for stuff. I keep going. There's more arrows, so I keep going, and then it's telling me to turn to this parking lot. And these are just like kind of like yard signs, basically. Okay. So I go, and now I'm in this parking lot, and then I see this sign that's like visitor parking for print pickup. And I'm thinking, hey, that's me. Yeah. So I park there and I get out of the car and I'm like, this doesn't seem right because it's like a loading bay.
Say, like I didn't copy that much.
Yeah, I just should have brought more people or something.
Don't have a semi
more
worth.
Yeah, more cars.
Right.
So, but then there are still these signs with arrows.
Mm.
So I'm thinking, all right, obviously some people are coming here that don't know where they're going, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So I walk to the store, and I finally get to go inside. So I open the door, and right away I know I'm not in the right spot.
This doesn't.
I'm in like this almost industrial setting.
You're in the warehouse.
There's carts being pushed with a ton of printed things on them, and all these people moving around. And this lady is, I think she was trying to get out of the door that I was coming into, and I walk in, and she knows I'm not supposed to be here, right away. And she's like,
she takes one look at you.
Like, hey, how can we help you? And I'm like, yeah, I had some stuff to pick up. She's like, yeah, that's probably at the front desk.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I think you're right.
Like, yeah, you probably went in the back.
Yeah. And I half wanted to tell her, like, yeah, you should probably change your signs then because they're kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But she was nice. She directed me towards the front.
How far away was the front? If you like kept going on your path, would you have hit it or?
No.
Not at all.
If I had walked straight, I would be on the floor.
Okay.
I think. So
sure.
She was like, just go down that hallway, take a left, then take another right, and go down all the way down that hallway, and then another left, and you'll be at the front desk. And I'm like, can I write this down real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get lost in
this in
the
Google
UNL
Maps?
Copy Center.
Or yeah, can I put this in? GPS?
So I get all the way there. I find what I think is the front desk, but there's nobody. There's kind of a person like sitting off to the side. I'm like, do I need to bother that person?
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of standing there awkwardly for like 30 seconds, and then and then she sees me and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
maybe." Are you
I don't even know
desk?
if I'm in the right spot.
Yeah.
But I finally get them. I decided to go out the way I came because I didn't want to get lost.
That seems the safest bet. Yeah.
But I just thought that was a really interesting experience that related to what you said.
I like the idea that someone just set that up as a prank. You know, like if you've got yard sign, like you can do a lot of maybe harm, maybe fun with yard signs, just directing people places. You know, you really have a lot of control. If you know people are wanting to go somewhere, you can direct them somewhere else. And so I think maybe they were doing a little test suite for that.
I saw one of those sign spinners the other day for the first time in a
Same.
while.
Oh, that was back on spring break. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
out in
it
droves,
was
I
like
guess.
it was Firehouse Subs, I think, and he was directing people. I was captivated
Right.
by.
But it's like, which way do I go?
Yeah, I was really confused.
Yeah, you start following them and you're just going in circles at the end
Yeah,
of it.
um,
Yeah. It's fine.
but that was a little adventure today.
That kind of reminds me, that last bit. I I I've been eating a lot at the Union, I guess, because this was another time. I was picking up some Imperial Palace. Getting a little low main for the first time.
Mhm.
Tasty. But anyway, yeah, I go to pick up my order, and there's probably 3 people working there. Well, I say that one of the guys was just on his phone. He was just sitting there on his phone. And so I walk up and I'm
He's
like,
doing the mobile ordering.
right. Yeah. Exactly. He's keeping track, you know. The main guy, you know, he's like he doesn't understand. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the mobile guy.
Yeah,
I'm the mobile."
it's all on here. It's all
Yeah.
digital. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. You don't get it, Dad.
yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So I walk up and there's like 3 people there and I'm like, "Hey." I didn't say anything, but I'm like, I think he saw me, but at this point, you know, the main guy's kind of cooking. He's got his back to me. So I'm like, all right, this guy's on his phone. I'm like, you might be able to see me. I don't know. I think there's someone like in the back closet that maybe glanced my way. And I'm like, how long do I stand here while waiting
Yeah.
before, like, do I say something?
Do you
I
go
couldn't figure
around
out.
and order yourself?
Right. Yeah. Say, hey, let me
Check
just
yourself
get that.
out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how long do I wait? Because I don't know what to say without being rude.
Mhm.
You know, like,
Hey,
hey,
get off your phone, kid.
hey, hey, that's really bad customer service. No,
Yeah.
you know, obviously I'm not going to say that. The other thing that I did consider for a second was they had they had a little bell there.
Sure.
And I'm like,
Ring that a few times.
you know, I think that would probably be worse than saying something.
Yeah.
Just ringing, say ding ding ding.
Yep.
Say, hey, I'm here.
Excuse me.
And so I decided to just wait. I'm like, I don't
They
mind
had
waiting.
a bell at the front desk too.
Yeah.
But I never want to be a person that rings a bell
You don't
to
want to be
get
that
someone's
guy.
attention.
Yeah.
That seems so just inhumane is not the right word.
Yeah.
But we have words.
Right.
Like I don't think we need basic noises to use as signals. I say as I use an alarm to wake up every night.
Right. You're right.
But
I tried using words and you know it worked out
well,
for a
you did.
time.
That's right.
It worked
you
out
did.
for a time. But yeah, we got a little Pavlov's customer service action. It just doesn't feel right. So we did end up getting, you know, it wasn't too much longer, but it was a little bit like, I don't know what
Yeah,
to do.
you
here.
were really inconvenienced by that, and you
Right.
just had to air your grievance to the world,
Right. I just,
to
you
the
know,
tens of listeners.
yeah, exactly. It was tough. All right. It was a real problem.
So you had lo mein for the first time. How
I
was
did.
it?
It was great. Well, I've had lo mein before, but not
Oh,
at Imperial
there.
Palace.
Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty good. What I have had for the very first time, and frankly, this was the first time I knew that it existed, was Pepsi glazed chicken. I don't know if you came across this. I know you're not really a frequenter of Cather. You know, we've mentioned Cather's been it's the hotbed of experiments,
Yeah.
right? We're a D1 research institution.
Sure.
A lot of that work's coming out of the dining halls. Yeah, they launched, maybe for the first time in the world, Pepsi glazed chicken. And I was a little bit like, what's going on here? Of course, I've got to try this because I got to see what's going on. Like, I know we're at Pepsi campus, but this feels like it's taking it a bit far.
Really just reminds me of that Jurassic Park quote that they were so they were so what is it? They were so concerned on whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think whether or not they should.
I didn't realize that was from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I would say they shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have done that. I know.
How was it?
It was pretty fine. I didn't really taste the Pepsi, frankly, but I was very confused by the methods. I was also surprised by the number of people that didn't seem to think of anything of it.
Mhm.
What I think actually happened was people saw that, oh, we've got some sort of Asian chicken, and I'll just load up on that. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how much people are really looking at the type. And, you know, fair enough. It doesn't really matter what type it is. I'm going to get it because it's probably going to be good. And this one was pretty good. But it was also a little bit of a question of
I'm interested by the glaze part. Like, what does it mean by glaze?
right. Exactly.
Like, I've heard of like basting a turkey in like Mountain Dew or Coke.
Right. Actually, and I forgot a little part of it that added to the questioning of what's actually going on here. It was actually called fried Pepsi glazed chicken. And that kind of
How do you fry Pepsi?
right, exactly. That kind of raised the question: is the Pepsi fried and then glazing the chicken? Is it fried chicken that's being glazed by
Did
Pepsi?
a Pepsi fry this chicken?
You're right. You're telling me a Pepsi glazed fried this chicken? Yeah, exactly. I don't know exactly what was going on. What I do know is you probably should not be eating that within 15 minutes of playing a rec basketball game
Sure.
because that'll really throw you off. I don't know. I'm betting if I had just had regular chicken, it would have been fine, probably.
Maybe.
But I think it was probably the carbonation from the Pepsi that really it
Yeah.
gave me the burpees, and I'm not talking about the exercise. Yeah, it was it was a real
Yeah.
problem.
That really seems like a doctor's or a dentist's worst nightmare. Fried Pepsi glazed chicken.
Right. Yeah, the combo
Just-
of the two.
Doctors hate him.
Right. It's Pepsi glazed. He's frying up the chicken. Yeah, it was a bizarre sight. They had it for about 3 days. Haven't seen it since. What I have seen is they brought back the chocolate peanut butter
Oh no.
covered cheesecake bites,
Yeah.
whatever it was. Which, first of all, I've been doing quite extensive research as to how to make these on my own, and it's looking promising. It's looking like a pretty easy recipe, which is huge for me.
Yeah.
But second of all, I'm convinced that they no longer know what to call it either, because this time they didn't even have a name tag on it.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, we don't.
Yeah.
So that doesn't, I'm pulling it out again where I'm like, can I have these ones on the bottom here?
Yeah.
But
Can I have your unnamed item?
right. I'll have the
second
mystery
to the
item.
left.
Yeah, exactly. But they tried to sneak it out. They knew if they put the label on it, they would have a lot of people being like, oh,
Sure.
this is what I want.
They kept it for you.
I know. That was very considerate of them. But
Well, speaking of new food experiences, I've got one.
okay.
Fondue.
No way.
I'm
Never
not
had it.
sure that it was if that's the right word for it or the exact word, but yeah, fondue basically.
Fondant.
Melted cheese.
Sure. Never had it.
I was at a friend's house. This was after Spielbound,
No shot.
and it's Vivian, if you remember.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I hope you remember.
do you remember that person that you've
For
known
the
for probably
listeners.
3 or so years?
And her mother is Swiss.
Okay.
So this is like a speak to the devil.
There she is.
I
Yes.
literally just started talking about
Yeah.
eating the
Eating
cheese.
fondue.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I
Oh.
didn't know the name.
That's tough. The
What
truth
is-
comes out.
Raclette?
Rockley.
Raclette.
Rockley.
Okay.
It's like broccoli, but without the B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there you go. He is cultured.
So it's-
Thanks for stopping by.
So it's
Yep.
called broccoli.
Okay. We're going to cut that part out
Yeah.
where you said it was fondue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like melted cheese over like potatoes and
Oh, interesting.
potatoes, sausage, zucchini, mushroom, like all this
Okay.
these, like collection of vegetables and sausage and things.
Sure.
That's really the best way to describe it, I feel.
Uh-huh. How was it? What
It was
kind of rate?
great.
Yeah?
It
There you go.
was honestly great, and I'm really glad I got to try it.
One of your favorite ways to eat vegetables.
Yeah,
And
on it,
sausage. And
yeah,
things.
just covered with cheese.
Yeah.
I wasn't, going into it, I wasn't sure how I would do, but I think I really, expanded my palate there.
You were sure how you would do.
Yeah.
Say, we were feeling a little performance anxiety.
Yes.
We were a little worried about how it was going to turn out.
Mhm.
But we pulled through in the second half.
Yeah. The sausage was veal.
Okay.
If you're familiar.
I've heard of it.
Never had it before.
I think I
It
might
was
have had
interesting. It was okay.
it. Okay. A firm okay. All
Yeah.
right.
What else? Oh, yeah. Probably the most interesting fact that I learned. So because it's like melted, or you melt it like during the meal, basically.
Okay.
So you kind of melt it, pour it over whatever you got, like your potatoes and whatnot, and then
Yeah.
you keep melting more, as you keep eating, I guess.
Okay. You're
And
adding more. You're
you're
not melting the cheese that's already on your plate.
no,
Okay.
you're melting some other cheese.
Okay. Sure.
But the thing is, so it's all very warm
Sure. It
and a
sounds
lot.
like it.
And there's a lot
Mhm.
of cheese, and so you're not supposed to drink water with it because it will like cool it while it's inside your stomach,
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah, and make it like really uncomfortable and like painful almost,
Oh my
to the point
goodness.
of like throwing up.
Holy cow.
I did not know about
That's
this.
quite a warning
Yeah,
associated.
pretty much. I was like, what other kind of health issues are associated with this meal?
Yeah.
Um, so we were warned about this beforehand, thankfully,
Mhm.
and we were offered some alternatives. I went with the sparkling red grape juice.
So it's just the water.
Just
Oh,
like a
anything that's cold.
cold beverage. So I
So
mean, I
you're
guess you could
drinking
drink
warm.
like really warm water, but
You're drinking
probably
warm grape
still,
juice.
yeah,
Okay.
warm grape juice. Um, I think tea was another option,
Okay.
or wine. But yeah, I went with the grape juice. And then we finish it off with some lemon mousse,
Wow.
and not the mousse you're thinking either.
Sure.
Um,
Kind of a whipped topping.
yes, some whipped.
It wasn't that.
Another fun fact,
Okay.
probably the second most interesting fun fact, is you're not supposed to have chocolate with it either, with like
What does that do to you?
raclette or fondue,
Okay.
because it's since it's like mostly cheese, it's really like a heavy meal, I guess. And chocolate doesn't mix well with it.
Chocolate, it's only for the light meals.
I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
And so instead of chocolate, lemon is a better alternative.
Sure.
I learned a lot about the culinary arts
Right,
of
right.
Switzerland, is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
Um,
That's
but-
incredible.
yeah.
I think that's kind of opening my eyes to needing to ask more about the foods that I'm about to eat.
Sure.
That was probably a warning with the Pepsi. Say, hey, you're not going to want to shake around much
Yeah.
because otherwise it's going to have
That
to
was
be
kind
like
of in the fine print.
a Mento effect.
Sure.
Yeah. That's probably what my issue is with the basketball game. Yeah, that is
You do tend to not really think about it once it's in your stomach.
right.
But
Once
it's all in there.
Yeah, once it's
mixing
past the
around.
gates-
There's chemical reactions going on.
Exactly.
And physical reactions.
Hey, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
You really got to think about that before you step on the court.
You really need to be thinking about.
I mean, I would not have played a basketball game after eting that.
I
let me
know
tell you
that now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't have played a basketball game anyway. But
okay.
especially after that.
After some Pepsi glazed chicken.
Um,
How do you know how the basketball and raclette go together?
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
I also wouldn't do it after the Pepsi glazed chicken.
Okay.
But definitely not after the
Because it's
raclette.
the heavier.
Yeah.
But the lemon lightens it. So maybe that helps.
I'm not sure that was the point of it.
Maybe if you
I think it doesn't make it worse.
okay.
It's not making it better by any means.
Maybe if you just play some horse, that's
Sure.
going to be okay. You're going to
Okay.
be fine because you're not
Yeah. A little bit of knockout, maybe.
right. Well, hey, you could run the risk there
Yeah.
if you're running around too much. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Can I
It was
just
great.
say?
I mean, it was definitely, a nice change of pace from the frozen pizza. The
yeah, I've had something similar to this.
Yeah.
Instead of the potatoes and
it's melted cheese over bread.
it's kind of a bread base. You get some kind of
you layer
acidity with the tomatoes, in kind of a sauce.
I believe
form.
it's ethnically Italian.
Yeah,
But it's undergone some sort of cultural modification.
yeah. I think it's it. I get mine from this family. It's the Totino's family.
Yeah,
down the road.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they make some good stuff. So it's pretty similar. This reminds me a lot of my childhood.
Mhm.
Well, excellent. That is excellent to hear. I gotta say, I've been putting a lot of the blame on the chicken for the performance, but I think if that hasn't told you anything, the performance was not great this past. I mean, it was great for the team. and I'm a team player. So in that sense, it was great for me as well.
Sure.
We probably won by about 13 or so. But me personally, there's the chicken comes before the egg, I think is what they decided. And for me, it was a goose egg that ended up being laid that night.
It came after the Pepsi glazed chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
In the form of 0 points scored.
Yeah.
For me. Plenty of air balls. So I think, I was talking about kind of osmosizing from the March Madness watching.
Mm-hmm.
I think I only took up kind of the worst parts of the game. And that I'm going to have to reevaluate that and hopefully get some more practice in before we get to the playoffs. So might have to hit the
Are you
courts.
guaranteed to the playoffs?
I think so. I think everyone goes. We are 2-1. So
yeah, I mean, it's looking favorable.
We're in the top half. So, I'm feeling pretty good about it. But we'll see if we can bring home the dub. We've definitely learned a lot. I'm going to be missing out. We've got a game tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to go to that one. So
that's unfortunate.
Tough scenes.
You'll be missed.
I know. I think the team will really get brought down. Be lacking a lot of skill.
Yeah,
truthfully. But anyway, it's tough to say. I felt like I needed to kind of keep people updated on kind of the experiment of how it goes.
I know people have been, updating their brackets as they've learned of the outcomes and everything. And
pencil us in for the championship slot, but only pencil. Don't Sharpie that. You're going to want to erase that one probably. Very light pencil. Yeah. Wait. Hey. It's about once an episode that you hit the mic, and that's about what we got. Do you have any other big happenings from the week, Ryan?
I do not.
No big happenings.
I've exhausted my exhaustive list.
Yeah.
Of 4 items.
It was pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
And how much was on there. Well, fair enough. I'm looking through. I'm not seeing much here. So
all right. Well, we are on track to finish before 7:30.
That's exciting. Yeah, I know. We got to get out of here. We got a little deep learning to do. Probably going to be getting some more food from the union, frankly. Got to get fueled up. But going to be a good time, as always. It's actually, I've been having what some might say is Orion's first week. There's a little callback there, but we got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We got a pretty packed time here. Definitely. Sounds like you do as well. So
yes.
But glad we could do this, Ryan. And I'm glad that you could be here as well, dear listener.
Thank you for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Right. Episode 44.